All right, folks, here we are with game one of the finals match between daenyth and thai510 of the beginner tack tournament of Q3 2021. This is pretty solid matchup between these two. I know that daenyth just had, I believe, 8 or 9 tiebreak games with Aranor for to get to this point, to get to the finals. So, solid competition here. I'm expecting some good play, so this should be fun to watch. I haven't personally seen any of the semifinals. My vacation happened to coincide with the actual tournament, unfortunately, so I wasn't able to do any of these games except for this one. So we are good to go and ready for these players to jump right in. And we are seeing thai510 gets white first, and daenyth gets black. And the first move we're going to see is those adjacent corners here, followed by a center placement. And it looks like black is going for a more attached approach, not attacking directly until now with E3. Placing that flat on the side of that vertical line of white, ready to come over and cut that off at any point. I am surprised, however, to see black play up at d5 instead of placing maybe a capstone over at c3, making a more of a direct connection here with their other flats, and also allowing for the capstone to come over and cut this off permanently. We may see that here now, and we do see that drop before white has an opportunity to make that tag threat. We may see white drop down here at D, may see white play over here at B5, or maybe over here at E5. It's hard to say at this point. But it looks like black is in a pretty solid position right here. I think it's turned out well because black has the opportunity to try and go for this horizontal threat, can also work on a vertical one. It's not as far along as any threat that white has, but it's also not as easily thwarted as white's threat here. And so white is making that first tack threat of the game right here on move 7, capturing over with c5 onto d5 would be a road, and black decides to cut that off with a flat capture of their own. And I think this is a smart thing to do, because if white wanted to, for example, drop a capstone here to try and recapture, black has that capstone there to cover everything up, recapture, and maintain that control. So black doesn't really need to worry about this capture here until it happens. Looks like black is going to make for a control of this zone here, making this one flat here completely surrounded by flats. And this allows black to continue on to that horizontal direction here, using this capstone as sort of an anchor point. Black could come down with d5 onto d4, and that would solidify that position pretty strongly. There would not be much that white could do in that area. So I'd say black is in a pretty strong position right now. I would definitely choose them as having the stronger position on the board. All right, looks like white playing up here e5, potentially trying to go around and make their own threat. Might be wanting to play e2 here pretty soon to go around this the stack, because white knows that this capstone can come over and ruin any chance of a recapture war for white. So black is still in control of this spot, but white may make a move here at e2 or something else that I haven't quite seen yet. Black now free to pursue their own pursuits, their own threats right now. I would not, as black, make a capture here. Most likely I'd probably play over here, maybe at f4. Looks like they do that. They drop that flat at f4. The reason why f4 is pretty good is because it starts building that horizontal line, making that connection so white can't just block it off by placing. So white's going to have to make some captures pretty soon if they're not careful. White is able to cut off a horizontal threat pretty simply with e3 and e5, capturing up and capturing down if any capture wars were to occur, but still not too bad for black. I'd still say black's in a better position. White needs to get that capstone down. Still no capstone placement. What I'm thinking is, I'm thinking that white is waiting for black to make some sort of capture, and then white will place that capstone. This is where black is going to have to be careful here. Black wants to fill in this spot on d4 because doesn't want to give white the opportunity to place a capstone here. So placing either a flat or a wall right here on d4 is probably black's best bet. Using the capstone for white, if it doesn't place one of those, white really wants to drop the capstone here at d4, get that capstone in the game in a central location where it can do a lot of damage, either offensively or defensively. Right here, white's capstone being able to come down, come across, come up, all of that is solid. So black does stop that by bringing this wall over, ready to come across and capture onto this stack here and liberate that captive. Though if he does do that, bring this wall across, white is going to drop that wall, that capstone right here and crush it. So this is where you'll see that come. This is the capstone immediately coming down. You'll probably see this wall stack spread downward. It's going to be 3 e4 minus 1, 2, exactly that move. That keeps that stack away from the capstone and also thwarts white's impending road. White now likely wants to come down and capture onto this spot to liberate the captive and keep black's capstone from coming over and interrupting things. Now black's capstone is effectively blocked away from white's positioning by that capstone. That capstone positioning sort of forcing that capstone out. It was a solid capstone position, though it didn't follow all of the guidelines in the capstones video of TAC University. It followed quite a few of them. It was a little later played, but it was still a solid placement. All right, e4 for black. Black's still going for that horizontal threat. I'm not sure if yeah, I can see that. So now we got white making another tack threat. Black's going to have to stop this with a capture. Moving over with this wall stack is not what you want to do. You don't want to give up that opportunity for white to smash that, but he's going to go for it instead. There is no trap here, no pin on this white capstone. White can freely bring this down. Not going to, however. White instead going to play up at f5, which is surprising. I would have expected maybe e1 here instead. Instead of f5, an e1 would have been great because then a smash would have been Tinue. But now white can't smash this wall because it would lead to an instant win for black. I do think white needed to smash that wall earlier back here. Let's see, instead of playing at f5, smashing here would have been the move to make. Yeah, it definitely was the move to make. There was no immediate threat, and that would have opened up a lot of options. Even if black came over, still would have had that horizontal threat option. So now we see white come down, trying to go for this horizontal threat now up here at the top. Doesn't have a lot of teeth in it, though. Black can come up and interrupt, come up and interrupt, come up and interrupt with 3 separate flats, and there's no real recapture situation that doesn't end up with a wall being placed or just immediately being blocked off. So I don't see white making too much headway in that direction. I think what white needs to do is set something up so they can interrupt black's road and allow white to make that capture here. To make that wall smash is what I mean. So if white can keep black from making an immediate road, like capturing down here onto f4 or something, then they can make that smash and then make some more threats. But e1 would be very strong here. I think I said E2 previously, but I meant E1 right here. That would have been that Daenyth pattern that I was talking about earlier. This is where black is placing now a wall up here to come down, capture this stack. I like that spot. Able to come over, capture it. Can't let can't let the capstone smash it. That wouldn't work. That would again lead to another win for black. So black's in a pretty good spot here, doing some really strong moves with the pins. Solid pin moves. Pinning that capstone. This is a good way to use walls in an offensive manner. I really think, and you can learn more about learning to use those walls in an offensive manner in the walls video of TAC University. Now I'm looking here. Yeah, this is a good spot. I'm not sure what white can do from this position besides place something here or here to try and interrupt this horizontal line that black has going on. Because this wall is going to come down and interrupt the horizontal threat. And white can't smash that. That leads to a win for black. So I'm not seeing what white was trying to set up with that placement here at C6. Maybe placing at A6, which would be a attack threat for white. Maybe that's what they're going for. If they place at A6, that is a attack threat. Black would not be able to win on the next turn. Also, black would not be able to come down with this wall and place it here to be able to make that capture, because that would be leaving this spot open for white to just play in D5. So yeah, I can see A6 being the move to make there for white. Does go for that move. We'll see what black does to counter here. I can see B5 coming up. That's probably the ideal move here to interrupt this road. Yeah, I don't see too much that would immediately revive that. And then black would be able to come down with that stack. And then white would be forced to make some capture here or place a wall at D5. Huh. Interesting. Oh. Oh, what? Oh, no. So black missed that was attack threat. I think that must have been a misclick. I think moving the capstone up had to have been a misclick. They were probably trying to smash that wall and clicked wrong and just moved the stack instead. I don't know, we'll have to get some, we'll have to hear back from them after that one. Because I can't imagine he missed that. Because I think black missed that this was a road threat by smashing with the capstone. But I don't think white missed it. I think white moved up in order to smash that. Ah, that was a misclick. Okay, so they are saying that it was a misclick. Okay, so they are going to be playing that as if white won that. So thai510 would have been taking that on D5 for the road smashing. And so they're going to play that as if thai510 won and daenyth lost. So congratulations to thai510 on your victory on game 1 of this 2-game match in the finals of this Q3 beginner tournament of 2021. And come back next week for the game 2 between thai510 and daenyth to see who comes out on top. That is all for today. Thanks for watching. Be sure to check out the description below for all things TAC, especially the Discord server, which is the community hub where you can find everything you need to know about TAC and find all sorts of people to play with online. And until next time, have a great day and happy tacking.